In a world concerned with pursuing perfection, in a time when most people are trying to achieve pure goodness by attempting to rework and remodel any speck of perceived evil, you must keep one thing in mind. Although it is possible for evil to be transformed into good, you must not overlook the fact that this is only a possibility. Were you ever concerned, friend, that the traits of your personality that are dark and evil might take over? Have you ever wondered if you would be better off suppressing them completely? Were you curious to know what would happen if you would fully give in to them? What about the evils of the outside world? What should you do about them? How should you deal with evil in general? When it comes to evil, a man's highest virtues are called upon, and in such a confrontation, the most subtle problem that you will face is how should you deal with such an opponent so that you are not destroyed by it. Many will suggest that there are only two solutions when dealing with the darkness. Either you can make a wide circle around it and insist that it must be abolished, or you can ally yourself with it, choosing the opposite side of morality and embracing it completely. Both these solutions are one-sided and will eventually create in you a dissociation between conscious good and unconscious evil, for too much morality strengthens the evil of your inner world, and too little morality advocates a dissociation between good and evil, creating much more damage in the outer world. Keep in mind, friend, that not moral perfection but the promotion of the rejected complementary elements of your personality will give you a strong and stable base to becoming a complete man. In other words, facing your own darkness and bringing it to life has the potential to make you whole. But also remember, if you decide to go down such a path, that dealing with evil is in the end an individual secret, with no blueprint that you can follow to the letter, with no accurate guidance that you can turn to, and there is no guarantee that you can meet the challenge and recognize in each situation what is actually right. It will be a journey into the unknown where you will be exposed to unforeseeable dangers, a journey that has the potential to transform you into a whole man, not only your ego personality, but also your inner opponent. Coming to terms with your unconscious always creates the risk that you may give your dark side too much credit, trusting it too much, being pulled by its power into error and corruption. Therefore, it is always necessary to question every action and every decision along the way. Always ask yourself, friend, is your greed for love and the things of this world overpowering you and luring you into destruction? Are your compulsive drives leading you to fall prey to temptation? Are you falling slowly into your desires in the moments when you intended to have only a small taste? Always measure your steps and never fully surrender to the unconscious powers of your mind, nor stubbornly resist the unknown, because just as an attitude of complete trust can be the expression of your childishness, so an attitude of critical resistance can be a measure of overly self-protection. Just like medicine, caution is important in the dosage of the poison. Everything will depend on how you deal with the opponent. Too close of an approach of accepting either only good or only evil inevitably carries with it the danger of an inflation of the powers of light or of darkness. Realize that moral goodness is always dependent on evil, and learn to find acceptance in the fact that the only place where you will find a reconciliation, where peace between the opposites within you is present, is in the twilight zone created by the tension of light and darkness. To become a complete man will be a moral challenge for you, friend, which will be extremely difficult to manage. Such a task requires you to recognize, first of all, your individual dark tendencies, those contra-values which you have rejected your whole life, while at the same time recognizing the individual good values that you live by. In other words, you will have to consciously create a conflict between your conscious and your unconscious, to constantly reason the rights and authority that you give to your ego and to your instincts, to create more or less a civil war within yourself in which you embrace the collision of incompatible thoughts, ideas and impulses. If you will have the strength to do this, you will gain the ability to estimate more correctly your effect on other people. You will recognize other people's dark projections on others, and you will be forced to consider revising your own views about good and evil. You will realize that the secret of becoming a better man, a whole man, lies in your ability to better adjust to reality, and this often depends upon your ability to give up the wish to be good and allow evil a certain right to live, because the disadvantage of the lesser good is balanced against the advantage of the lesser evil. Knowledge of your own personal darkness is necessary for any responsible action, and since you cannot detach yourself from your connection with society, this knowledge will help lessen the moral darkness in the world around you. But awareness of your own moral conflict, of the battle between light and darkness within you, will raise a question. How can you reconcile the two contradictory opposites, good and evil? Such a settlement of the opposites can only be achieved if you are able to transcend them, if you are able to detach yourself from identification with any of them, if you are able to lift yourself above yourself, to see the clearer picture as an observer of your own actions, thoughts, and impulses. The freer you can keep yourself of hard and rigid principles, and the readier you are to sacrifice your ego will, the better are your chances to be grasped by something greater than yourself. By doing this, you will experience an inner liberation, a condition that takes you beyond good and evil. Through such a transformation, you will become a man that loses some of his goodness, but at the same time the repressed darkness within you loses some of its evil. As doubt of the purity within you increases, the darkness of your soul will appear less black. I dare you to embrace such a process and embrace this new understanding of the conflict between the opposites within you, to be able to experience the liberating effect such a path can have on your soul. Whether it will attack you in the form of illness, external conflict, inner emptiness, or as a shattering experience of an immoral appeal coming from within, evil can prove to be a means of healing and understanding yourself, a way to reunite you as an individual with your core masculine being. Dare to embrace the experience of carrying the tensions of the opposites within you in a positive manner and recover your powers of decision and action. The greatest period of your life will start at the point when you will gain courage to awaken your darkness as the best in you, because only in the darkest moments of your life you will have the chance to find your redemption. Will you be the man that can handle an existence of constant tension between good and evil, or will you crumble under the pressure and fully give in to either one of them? The choice is yours to make.